Hi, this is 365801 and this is another reviewing male male romance video. So this video is about The Charm Offensive. This is by Alison Cochrun and is something that I was able to access through my library's audiobook service. So I have only read this through audio rather than actually reading the physical copy. So this was a Simon & Schuster audio production read by Vikas Adam and Graham Halstead, with Cassandra Campbell giving some extra show notes. And I do think that the two narrators, the two main male narrators, did a good job of distinguishing their voices and of distinguishing their two main character voices when they took their turns speaking. I thought that they both did a perfectly passable good job. It was a 10-hour and 30-minute duration, so you might want to think about that, or depending on the speed in which you listen to audiobooks, some people listen to it a little bit faster. So yeah, 10 hours was quite some time, so I did end up listening to it over a few days. So this work was certainly on my radar for quite some time before I was able to pick it up through my library, and that's maybe because it was the most, I wouldn't say the most popular, but certainly the most commercially popular male-male romance of 2021. The Charm Offensive did end up on the top 20 list for the top romances of 2021 for the Goodreads Awards, and that also helps kind of solidify its place as the most commercially successful male-male romance of the year. And so I did want to see what all the fuss was about. Quite a few booktubers or other readers had said that it was really good and had given it high ratings, and so I wanted to see if I also felt the same. The Charm Offensive follows Dev Deshpande, who is someone who believes in a fairy tale love and therefore works on the long-running reality dating show Ever After as a producer. Dev has to work with the latest star that has been cast for this season, and that is Charlie. Charlie has worked in tech but has suffered some setbacks and he needs to rehabilitate his image. Unfortunately, he doesn't believe in love, he's a little bit cold, he's awkward, and he's emotionally standoffish. It is Dev's job to get Charlie to open up, to relax, and to build some chemistry with the female contestants of the show. But in doing so, he develops a little bit more chemistry with Charlie than he had expected. Now, I don't know what it is about the choices I've been making recently for male-male romance reads, but the majority of them, especially the most commercial, you know the ones I'm talking about, i.e. this kind, have had as a primary focus not the male-male romance, but instead mental health representation. And I would definitely put this as like one of the top ones. In terms of The Charm Offensive being a male-male romance, I would say the romance is secondary and the mental health rep is primary. Now, in The Charm Offensive, we have Dev, who is someone who deals with depression and is not always necessarily dealing with it in the most healthy way. You know, a lot of people don't. Hands up. We also have Charlie, who has anxiety and is a little bit awkward, emotionally shut off, has the appearance of being cold, likes order, has maybe some other issues, but is definitely dealing with anxiety in a big way. So I know that some people who enjoy mental health rep in their romance stories are going to love this. They're going to enjoy that, the fact that it grounds it in a sense of realism. But there are other people who will not want a realistic representation of mental health issues in their romance, because people will sometimes choose to read romance to escape from their own mental health issues. Hands up there again. So for me personally, I do think it's a pro that there is a good representation of the exploration of mental health for these two characters, and that we have both depression and anxiety being explored. I think that's a good thing, because I do think we need variety in our romance. Personally, I did find that it kind of took over, and I do personally, just my own opinion, I like reading romance for the romance. That's my main focus. Like, I want the escapism. I want to just, have the smexy scenes and the cute loving scenes and, the fighting scenes. I like all of those aspects. So having romance be like the number one of 2021, the most commercially successful, in my opinion, the mental health representation was the main primary aspect of this novel, not necessarily the romance itself. Now, in saying all of that, my next pro is also gonna feel a bit like contradictory, which is the Hallmark movie of it all. The hallmarkiness of it all. And that is another, I guess, a plus point. I don't know if these are all pros or if I'm just bringing up points, but it did have that element of being very much staged. It had a staged feel to it, and that kind of is representative of the fact that it is based on a reality dating show, which of course we all know is staged as well. But the actual book itself, whatever plot it was followed what I would kind of just think of as a Hallmark movie plot. It didn't feel like specifically male romance, which is a good thing. Like, we need more Hallmark movie gay romances. We need more of these movies. I don't know why there's not more made. Literally any media, any TV show, any movie that has gay representation does really well, is hugely popular, is massively popular. People just eat that shit up. I am people. I eat that shit up. And I'm giving this review at a time when we've just had Our Flag Means Death, and the Heartstopper series is about to come out. This is like what we want. We want more gay romance stories in our media, and we want them to be varied and interesting. And that includes making just straight up Hallmark movies. There's a place for everything, and we want more of that. I know that there was like one gay story that was made over Christmas on Netflix. It was like, here you go, gays, here's your one a year. We gave you, one the year before, this is your next one. So I do think we need a lot more. We want more of these things. And I've read so many male romances when I thought this would make a great movie. I would sit down and love this movie. I would go to the cinema and watch this movie. And this might be the con of it all. I felt like the Charm Offensive was written almost as though it was like, hey, this will one day be an actual movie. Like, I can see the Charm Offensive made by Prime or available on Netflix, It's like it was made specifically or written specifically to be made into something that would be commercially palatable to a wide audience, as well as the people who love the gays, Maybe this is just me overstretching, but I felt like, yeah, this is the commercial side of male romance. Now, this is probably in regard to the commercial aspect of this work, and that is specifically to do with the romance. So, some of you might think this is a pro, some of you might think it's a con, but when it comes to the romance between these two main characters, Dev and Charlie, I have to say, I didn't feel it. I did read a few reviews, and some people were saying, wow, this is so spicy. And I was like, no, it is not. Where is the spice? Why is it not spicy? Like, once again, I am asking you, where is my spice? I have read so many of these commercial male romances, and it's not spicy. It's not spicy, guys. And this is coming from a white person, I need my spice. So it did feel as though this was lacking, not just in the spice, meter, but also in the romance meter. I listened to the audio version, so I'm getting the audio. It's going straight into my brain through my ears. I'm expecting to feel the budding romance. I'm expecting to feel the building tension. I'm expecting to feel, some sort of emotion, and this kind of just left me feeling flat, which is a real shame because I want the romance. I want to feel the love. Where is the love? Black Eyed Peas, where is the love? I did not feel it, and that was kind of disappointing. It was kind of a letdown in that respect. There was one moment when there was a kiss, and I was like, oh, this is nice, and then it was like, done, over, and it just felt flat. And so, yeah, this is definitely a con for me, personally. But you might enjoy the non-spicy aspect of the Charm Offensive. For me, this was not enough spice. Nowhere near enough spice. Now, this is definitely a me thing, but it's also a book thing, so I'm going to mention it. And that's the setting. Setting being a reality dating show, which I don't watch. I don't watch reality dating shows. So I know what you're thinking. Why on earth did you read this book? I'm wondering that myself. The point is, the reality dating show setting did give this like an interesting arc. It made it so that they could go to different places and different things could happen, and therefore the two main characters could interact in a specific way. I personally did not enjoy the reality dating show aspect, just because I don't watch them, and also because I don't like duplicitousness, and I don't like things being staged. I don't like it being fake. And there was a lot of that going on in the book, which made me feel uncomfortable. But there was a specific incident that happened about 16% in, and it made me almost DNF. And that was because absolutely none of the characters reacted to that incident in the way that I would have expected normal people to react, i.e. call the police, have someone report it, get on the phone to your lawyers, sue some people. Charlie, why was he not on the phone to his publicist and his lawyer getting things sorted out? Because even at that point, he knew he was in too deep, and they were turning around and saying, you have to follow through because we've got you under contract. Whereas they also are under contract and therefore should have reacted and should have perhaps acted in a way that was part of the contract, which they did not. They were already in breach of contract. And as someone who cannot handle plot points that don't match, this was a huge hole in the plot that I just could not get over. It took me a long time to just be like, okay, play through, it's fine. Just suspend disbelief, it's fine. It's fine. It was not fine, and I did not enjoy that. So that was one of the things that really irked me throughout the whole rest of the book. Now, this last point in my eyes is a con, and that is mainly because the Charm Offensive, when it came out and when it was being further publicised with the Goodreads Awards, it was being promoted, specifically pushed, that this was an interracial male-male romance, and wasn't that fantastic. And it was also being compared to Red, White and Royal Blue, which was also an interracial romance. This one, however, felt flat to me because when compared to the Red, White and Royal Blue, there was discussion about culture. In this book, The Charm Offensive, there was none. Dev Deshpande is Indian American and Charlie is white American, and therefore there will be a difference of culture, and there should therefore be some discussion or even reference to culture. And there was not even a reference to any aspect of culture for Dev. It was like he could have just been called John and it would have been the exact same story. Now, I know when there comes, aspects of acculturation and assimilation and therefore cultural dilution, all of these things therefore will take place. Yes, and there is a place for that discussion too. But I would have expected from a book that was being specifically promoted to be about an interracial couple that there would be some sort of discussion on race or culture. Where you live, where you're from, what language you speak, what clothes you wear, the climate you're brought up in, the food that you eat, every single aspect will inform who you are as a person, and therefore is an important aspect of characterization. And I really felt like that was kind of lacking. Honestly, Dev just could have been called David, John, could have been any generic white person's name, and unfortunately it would have been the exact same story. So it was, once again, it was disingenuous to promote this as an interracial romance when there was no real reference to race, which I thought was a real missed opportunity. When it comes to giving this rating, I have to admit I'm still kind of undecided about exactly where I'm going to put this. When I initially finished listening to the book, I thought that the narrators had done a good enough job for me to round up my 3.5 to a 4 on Goodreads. But having now made this video and having talked through some of the aspects that I wanted to point out, I kind of feel like, no, I'm going to go on Goodreads and round it down to a 3 because there are just too many things that I didn't particularly like about it or I didn't enjoy. I felt stressed by this book. I don't know if that was the point. I have anxiety, I have depression. Like my mental health was not helped by reading this book. I felt the anxiety, maybe that's what I was supposed to feel, but I didn't feel the anxiety for Charlie. I felt anger towards the situation and the setting. I felt anger towards people not doing what they're supposed to do, which is to look after other people. And so, things that were disingenuous, I did not enjoy. So yeah, there's definitely aspects that I felt disappointment with. And that's a big thing as well. If you're disappointed, it means you went into something with expectation. And when there's a huge amount of people saying, this is a great book, it's wonderful, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, you're going to have the expectation that you're going to love it. It's going to be great. It's going to be perfect. And it's not, and it's never going to be. And so you will end up disappointed. And I kind of felt that with Red, White and Royal Blue. Like there's definitely aspects that I did not enjoy, and therefore it brings it down. So I'm going to, I think, maintain my 3.5 star rating in my mind, but I might change it down to a 3 on Goodreads now. I just felt like there were definitely things about this which irked me slightly. I felt a little bit stressed by the setting and the fact that people were not looking after others in the way that they were supposed to. Yeah. This was something that I'm happy I read, but overall, I'm fine with forgetting, which is never a good thing, is it? So that is my review of The Charm Offensive. Have you read The Charm Offensive? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you think it was spicy enough? Maybe you're like, hold on, it was plenty spicy. What's she talking about? Let me know in the comments down below. I enjoyed learning all about Charlie. He's a cinnamon roll. We focused a lot on his anxiety, and I kind of felt like we didn't get enough of Dev. Do you agree? Was it kind of an imbalanced representation of the two characters? I just felt like it wasn't even. And also, were you planning on picking up The Charm Offensive? Has my review made you think, yes, I definitely will, or nah, I'm going to give it a miss? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. I am 365-801 and I make videos about male romance, BL manga, yaoi and all that good stuff. Take care everyone, I will see you in the next video. Bye!